Hey guys, welcome back or welcome if you're new to Corey's Nail Diary. We talk about books, nails, and everything in between. And today is officially day 9 of Bookmas. And oh my goodness, you would think by now I would have run out of ideas of things to talk about, but I actually haven't, and I'm surprised too. So let's get right into it. This video is for that person that grew up absolutely loving the library in elementary school and middle school and high school, but then they got into their adult years and kind of lost their love for reading. This is for you. Today, I have at least 10 books that you could read to get back into reading, and I know from experience because some of these books actually got me back into reading. And you know what? I won't give it away too early, so let's get into the list. If you came to me and you said, hey, I haven't read a book in super long, what should I read? Here is what I would tell you to read right now. If you love romance, just like me, I would give you 2 suggestions. Number 1 is the X Talk, and number 2 is the Love Hypothesis. Let's get into the X Talk first. The X Talk is about our 2 main characters who are rival radio station hosts, and they more or less go on to fake date and pretend to be exes for a new radio show to further each person's career. And it's very funny, very silly, very much like a yearning and budding romance going on there, and I just love that vibe, so I hope you do too. And also, I forgot to say, it's an enemies to lovers. I know some people out there love that as much as I do, so that's for you. And then book number 2, The Love Hypothesis. This is Allie Hazelwood's biggest book to date. If you're not on Book Talk, I promise you've probably heard of this book, even if you're not on Book Talk. This is about a PhD candidate who basically falls in love with her professor, and there are a lot of very interesting tropes here. Once again, I'm like a sucker for fake dating, if you haven't noticed. We've got fake dating, we've got grumpy sunshine, and honestly, we might even have a one-bed-only trope in there somewhere. This book is great, and it really lines up with the rest of Allie Hazelwood's work. You actually see these characters multiple times throughout her other books. So I can't recommend The Love Hypothesis enough. Genuinely, I don't know if I would be the same reader I am today without this book. It is literally life-changing. Next on my list is If You Want to Laugh. If you want to laugh, I recommend 20s Girl by Sophie Kinsella. This book right here, ironically, I had picked up from, I think it was a garage sale, to be honest with you. I got it for like all of $2, $3. And when I decided to pick up reading again, I read this book in almost a day. It's about the main character whose dead grandmother becomes her best friend. I guess you could consider this one to be a little bit of magical realism, but basically the 20s girl that's mentioned here is her grandmother, but her grandmother is in the form of her when she was in her 20s, so like the 1920s. It's very funny. I think in general, this author, if you want a funny book, is the one to go with, so I really suggest her work. All right, and I do have to put this one in here. If you want a short but festive collection, there is a collection on Amazon called the Under the Mistletoe collection, and some of the authors I mentioned here today actually are a part of it. They're cute little novellas, so I think they're like around 100 pages, possibly less. I don't quite remember. I read the Allie Hazelwood one, Cruel Winter with You, and yeah, they're just entertaining and they're quick to get through. So if you really just like want the satisfaction of reading a book and you don't really like have the time to dedicate to like a huge book, that's your way to go. Up next, if you love literary fiction or maybe you want to try it out, I really suggest The Husbands. This book is about a woman who comes back from her friend's bachelorette party and basically finds different men living in her house coming from her attic. She notices that every time one goes up the attic, another one comes out, and she's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? This book is insane, and honestly, I think that it's a really great introduction into the world of literary fiction. It's got like ounces of romance, but like not really, because she's married to all these men and doesn't really know them, if that makes sense. So it's an interesting starter here, and I think that it really just gets your brain into what the heck is going on here mode. Okay, and up next, if you want a cozy read. Now, usually I would say grab anything that's the current season that's outside right now, but I'll be real with you guys, it is December 9th, as you know, and I literally yesterday finished a fall book because I thought I would get through it a bit quicker than I did. I didn't. So I don't actually have a current don't have a current one, but let me explain. I'm sure you've seen The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. Basically, she's got one of these books for every single freaking season. I've only read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I do have The Christmas Tree Farm on my bookshelf. I'm not sure I'm going to read it this year, but if you want a cute little festive read, I do suggest that, since she's kind of the queen of mood reading in that way. Next is if you want mystery. So I'm not a huge mystery reader. I do like mystery, but I don't love it. So I only have a couple of ones here for you. Number one is actually a young adult suggestion, and that is Thieves' Gambit. This is about a group of teenagers who basically go on a spy mission, and they're competing against each other, but making alliances with each other. It's really weird. Think of it as Spy Kids. It was giving Spy Kids vibes with also an enemies to lovers aspect. It was really interesting. So there's Thieves' Gambit, or there's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which I'm sure once again you've heard about on Book Talk. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is literally such an addictive book. I think I read it all in one day. Not going to lie, I think I did. It is about a high school student who, for her thesis, basically is looking into a murder that happened within her town, and she's finding out every single detail. And it's basically her writing this story and figuring out every detail. And you have a solution at the end of the first book, but there's actually 3 books in total. So that was a really interesting read. And also, if you want to get into a series, that's a great way to do so. And Holly Jackson has a lot more books now. I haven't adventured into her other books, but I'd be interested in reading them. And if you want a cozy mystery, this one is actually, you know what? I don't think I've ever heard anybody else talk about these books before. Series by Leanne Clover called the Pelican Cove series. I don't remember exactly what the first book is named. I will put it on the screen here somewhere. And this series, I have read it on and off for so many years. I find that when I need another book to, if I'm behind on my book reading goal, I'll usually grab one of these books because they're short and sweet and they're so good. There's just a mystery of who got murdered, a normal woman who's trying to figure them out, a love triangle. It's so good. It reminds me a lot of an audiobook I'm currently listening to called Finlay Donovan is Killing It. Well, that's the first book, but you get what I mean, the Finlay Donovan series. So those two are just absolutely read, and they're so cozy, and you get to really understand the characters and get to know them and spend so much time with them. And there's never a boring moment in either of these books. Oh, I forgot to say too, if you want a festive mystery, In a Holidays by Christina Lauren is so good. It's about this main character girl who every single year for Christmas, her and her family travel to her parents' college friends' cabin, and they all go there, and basically it's a friend group that has grown up together, and all of their kids are also friends. So it's about this girl who ends up in this time warp situation where she's reliving the same day over and over again, and she knows how it's going to end, but she doesn't want that answer, so she keeps reliving each day differently. It's really cool. I could not put it down last year. The final suggestion for this video is if you want to try out a series or in general fantasy. As someone who doesn't really read fantasy at all whatsoever, I can say that the ACOTAR effect is real, and that ACOTAR will get you into liking fantasy. So I do suggest, if you haven't read it already and you do want to try out some fantasy, ACOTAR, or honestly anything by Sarah J. Maas, might be for you. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for day 9 of Bookmas. Let me know if you've read any of these books down below. While you're there, be sure to hit subscribe, like this YouTube video, and also follow me on other social media. I am Corey's Nail Diary on Instagram and TikTok. Bye!